frog. That's one
That's
of the
from a frog,
yeah,
okay.
That I learned that the hard way.
A frog was sleeping there overnight?
No, because I cover them up at night for that reason. But sometime today, a frog got in there, and that's
So you
what
can still,
happened.
can you still eat it?
Yeah, I just cut around it.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, yeah, I was having that problem forever, all summer long. And I'd come out and I'd go to bed and they'd be gorgeous. I'd be, oh, yeah, I'm going to harvest them in the morning. I'd come out and there'd be a big divot in it, and I think they poop and pee, and it it starts dying pretty quick away from it, so I have to cut a little square out, and so that they have to be harvested pretty much right away. But we're going to demonstrate that.
Okay,
anyway,
how to do it.
But anyway, yeah. So this whole corner is going to be a little sprout area. We have 2 doors diagonal in here. We're building a bench across here to sit on, plus have storage. So the hurricane gave me the inspiration to put like some of that siding up here, leave a window that's about the size of my hurricane panels, and put hurricane panels all the way around, and then the spot up here that's covered is going to be storage as well. So I'll have an attic in here, have a little screen room, have a sprout house, plus be able to just have a
guest house.
Yeah, a guest house. Yeah. Actually, yeah.
A composting toilet.
Yeah, well, that could be a possibility. That could be a possibility, but yeah, I don't have enough real estate for that to feel comfortable with that. But yeah, the hammock does stretch between there and there, so people can sleep out there.
Oh wow! Sorry. Pretty excited about hammocks lately.
Oh, I thought you just got a text. All right, well, we should all get a chair then, right? Maybe bring a tray out instead of us standing here.
No, because we'll have to be we have to harvest by the sink, so we'll have to kind of stand around the sink.
But I mean, aren't you gonna like talk about, like, just give us a little preview looking at it for the camera.
Well, that was
listening?
No, I mean, bring a tray out. I can't reach you.
Well, I'll bring this
But
one
there's
out.
chairs there.
This one right off the bat. This is. Okay, these are kale, and this is broccoli. It's a little hard to tell the difference, but yeah, a little divot in there. We're gonna cut. All this looks pretty good.
This is broccoli.
Yeah, so we'll cut all this way. Yeah, it's really good, very potent. Yeah, gorgeous stuff.
I mean, now you got those to sprout. I'm having so much trouble getting my stuff to sprout.
Well, we'll go through that because I want to start a batch. I go
You're going to
through...
start a batch with us?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, great.
Oh, yeah, that was the whole intention of, of being here.
Good.
Besides
Do you
eating
grow
them.
these and sell these to like a health food store? Like,
No,
this is all your own consumption?
My friend Gina, who just dropped some off for us, does do that. She just took over an operation in Fort Pierce. She hadn't even named it yet, but she's just starting it back up again, and she's using some pretty interesting techniques. She wasn't able to stop to hang out with us. She thought she could yesterday when I asked her, but she ended up having other obligations.
Right?
When it first came
Oh,
out.
we broke that in Ecuador, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So 2007
So, 2010, yeah.
or 10, okay.
10, yep. So anyway, now what I do, I'm always really, because and we're going to harvest these guys too. These are regular sprouts, and they're grown in soil or grown in jars.
Where do you
with
get those
soil.
size jars?
These size?
Yeah, where do you get the types of jars?
Oh,
they're just canning jars, right?
Yeah, these are just canning jars, and you get these. I get these off of Amazon. They come in like sets of red, yellow, and green, and different size for different things. This is one Sandy had gotten for me at Goodwill one time, and I just like it because it's a nice straight shaft.
Yeah, it's
I ended up breaking mine,
size.
and I ended up finding one on eBay or something. I got 2 of them. So.
Oh, you're recording this too?
No, he just took a
Oh,
picture of that.
I'm only doing a few seconds.
So
Because my jar's so big.
I'm always a little careful. I want to make sure I've got a clean sink to harvest into and clean hands. So part of my chores when I get home at night is to wash dishes first. That cleans the sink and cleans my hands simultaneously. And then I went ahead and invested in a really good salad spreader. well worth it. Put that down into there. Just gonna put that there. And get all the soap out of the sink.
Why did you get this? I've been looking for another one of these.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you can have one of the
The
one of the hearts off of there. That's how it
Yeah, the
started.
Yeah, and I can't get
What's
them to.
funny is this one was given to me as a gift several years ago. My friend Sandy put it in the pot, and we had it up in this window for years, and it never did anything. It just stayed green, never did anything. And about 6 months ago, we set it outside,
In
and
the
all of
shade?
that has been growing.
New growth.
Maybe
It's
that's
morning
what I
sun,
need.
little morning sun. But anyway, yeah, so we're going to kind of not worry about anything from that
Yeah.
line over. If I were really desperate and really wanted, I would probably try to go ahead and eat these, but they're already starting to fade. These are all the nice perky ones, so we're just going to get them. I got a nice long knife, except this one's going south on me.
You can
Want
stay
me to
there.
stand over here?
I think
How deep do you go? How far down do you go, baby?
I go as far as
Far
I
as you
can to try not to get, and try not to get any soil on them. And then I just go ahead and get them wet right off. I haven't watered these this morning. I usually don't water anything that I'm going to harvest that day.
Right, make easier to work with.
It makes it easier to work with, and then it'll suck in water as you are rinsing it, and that's kind of an ideal
Okay.
situation for freshness. As you can see, they harvest quickly.
Right.
We're just going to harvest all 4 of those,
Boom, boom, boom.
so you guys will get plenty of experience.
When did you plant
seeing
those?
these. I planted these Monday afternoon, and we'll go through that. As far as, whoopsie, and I always have a little spot where I, kind of can drop some reject stuff. I don't want any soil necessarily.
And how long
in
have
there.
you been doing this?
I started sprouting about 4 years ago, 5 years ago with these guys, and then I started doing the microgreens about 2-3 years ago.
Mark,
These
how
are my
much of this
favorites.
stuff makes up your diet? much of it?
I eat a big salad of this and this, and I still can harvest. Part of what I wanted this class to be was the outside greens too, because we have the moringa, we have katuk, which I eat, and that's that one with the flowers on the bottom. I eat those leaves every day, and the moringa leaves, and then I always chop the little cranberry hibiscus leaves off just for color. And I intended the bottom of the salad to be that. That's typically what I eat. And then I have these guys in the next layer.
Wow.
Sunflower sprouts if I have them, and we will have them today for the next layer. And then I always top it with those because they're just so gorgeous on top of the salad. They're just beautiful. Look at these things.
Yeah, they are. Broccoli sprouts are beautiful.
And,
I
yeah.
wouldn't waste those. I'd be eating those. I don't care about a frog. I mean, I'd be eating those.
Yeah, I'm not so sure, and we have plenty. The one thing, there is one bad thing about it I run into. I either have way too many or way too few.
Now,
Like
what do you
last
do
week,
with
I
the
was in
rest of the tray
crisis.
with all the soil?
I have a little compost.
a special compost just for that, right?
Yeah, I sure do.
Because that's got all of the good nutrients and stuff in it.
Well,
already.
it's not a
soil.
Yeah, it's not a special composter. I mean, it just kind of. It's just my composter. This is kale. This
Wait,
is.
let me look at kale.
Now this is gorgeous. There is nothing there that I won't eat. There's nothing, this has not been compromised in any way.
Okay.
And you can still see some of the little kale seeds, and that's how I know it.
Okay.
It's the red Russian kale seeds. And I actually
wow.
grow them as a crop, and I use the microgreen seeds to grow them, and I've got some, I can show you out there, I've got some started.
They take longer, right? Because kale doesn't take kale.
I started these at the exact same
Oh,
time.
really?
Yeah.
That's good to know.
I also
That's a
grow
lot of
radish a lot, but I've been having a lot of problems with radish. They've been coming out real leggy, and ironically, they used to be the ones that used to be really full, and they would be like twice this size. They get a little bigger primary leaves. But this is what just creates a microgreen. All these leaves, if you notice, are almost identical. These are the first leaves a seed will put out.
Right.
And
the
that's
cut leaf.
that's the microgreen. So the second leaf would be the baby green. So when you see
Okay.
baby greens, that's what they're. It's a step beyond these. it's hard to get these to go to baby greens, although this one looks like it might do it if I'd let it go another few days. But you run a lot of risks with frogs, and they're very susceptible to.
How many trays of this stuff do you grow a week to feed yourself?
Typically I start 2 of these on Sunday and 2 of them on Wednesday or Thursday. And
Of those?
Yeah,
Or
of
arugula?
these. And I'm sorry,
I mean, of kale.
of kale and broccoli.
2
or
each?
radish.
2 each?
Yeah, one of each.
Oh, one of each.
Yeah, so it's 2 trays, but 1 of each, twice a week. And the reason I started doing it, one tray of each of these a week is plenty for me personally, because I've got other stuff to go with it. But what I was having is different times of the year. Sometimes you forget, and oh crap,
Sure.
I never got out there to water it, or I was having problems with frogs. I'd come out, like
So
I said,
things that
I'd
throw
have
you
that
off a
one of
little.
those. So there's things, yeah, and then I'd be like, oh crap, I got a little thing like that to last me a whole week. So I started doing it twice a week. That's what I mean. I either have way too many or way too few, because I'll either get failures.
What are
or-
you spending, do you know, in seed? each week?
It's so minimal.
Really?
Yeah.
All those seeds in there, right there.
I think I calculated it out for this, and I think a batch of these seeds, all 3 of them, it seems to me the whole shooting match was like $2 or $3 worth of seeds, and I can eat a week off of that much. Of course with other things. When I first started the MarkSproutsAlot thing about 4 years ago, I had gotten heavy like I am now, and I had started eating these. Actually, I was a little heavier than I am now, but I'd started eating these almost every day, and nothing else. I wasn't doing microgreens. I didn't have much of a garden going on back here, especially during the summertime. That's when I started, and I started growing this too because I can't do lettuce in the wintertime or in the summertime down here. So I wanted something I could grow in the summertime, and I started this in July. I was overweight, and I started eating these pretty heavy, and in about 4 months I was like, suddenly I realized I had lost like 25 pounds, and then I just kept on doing it. I ended up losing 50 pounds eating these things, and then that's what got.
So is this
things
primarily your diet? Do you consume other things
Yeah,
at all?
I eat all kinds. Yeah, right now
Like I do.
I'm
Pizza.
Yeah.
I eat mostly organic when I can. I don't eat
Anything.
Yeah,
sure, we know.
but I do, I eat a lot of nuts. I eat things that aren't necessarily the best
Nuts
in the
are good for
world,
you.
and but I eat excessive. I do a lot of excessive stuff.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it
We
is
love
it is what it
excessive.
is. But I eat my base meal every day is a big salad of microgreens, sprouts, sunflower sprouts if I have them, and my outdoor salad. And in the wintertime when I've got lettuce and kale and things like that going, I have an abundance of that kind of stuff to eat. So I make one big meal of that, then the rest of it's junk, basically. It's healthy junk, but it's junk.
No, I got you.
nonetheless.
Yeah, you don't feel as guilty,
Well, yeah.
Especially
Well,
with all this
I
work.
think that's all the. I think
doing
that's
any
the
others?
mastery is not feeling guilty about
No, I'm
anything.
going to start though. I got my tray. I got my shelf.
You got trays? Okay.
Oh no, we're
And
going
you-
to talk about trays today too.
Oh, okay. Shelves, you mean?
I got shelves. I took them out of one area and moved them onto my porch where the sun will be coming in.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you only need a couple
Yeah.
hours of sun every day,
Yeah,
and it does like to have a little direct sun. If you grow them in the shade, they will bend over to try to find the direct sun. This is the perfect harvest here. These are beautiful,
I wanted
gorgeous.
to
Cats
see when you
bothering
dump
you?
all this stuff.
I'm sorry?
The cat's bothering
I've never had any problems with the cats in there. Of course, every other grow bed around here is another story. They like to run through my freshly grown.
The casting in that you're going to cast off into the, what do you call it?
The compost.
Yeah, when will you use that again?
Oh, I don't know. We kind of use it ongoing. My friend Sandy, who helps me in the garden, is a huge part of the creative influence here. decided to take the compost bin and she lined it, the bottom of it with 1/4-inch fencing, steel fencing, and we built it up off the ground on blocks.
So there's air.
So yeah, and we can harvest it from the bottom. It makes it very harvestable. So we've been using it kind of ongoing, because this is a quart of soil that I used to start these.
I've got a bunch
You
of
buy
those. I
fresh
have
soil or you use your own soil?
I was buying
bins in
soil from Lowe's. They had a really good potting soil
Yeah,
that I really liked, and it's all natural and everything.
yeah.
It just, the consistency wasn't there, and the last few batches I got had big sticks in it, and I was having to sift it, and it's a lot of work. So I ended up buying Pro Mix, which is what Gina uses, and it's I don't know.
And where are you buying that from?
A refined
I
soil?
bought it online. Actually, Gina gets it from that Diamond R place down there.
Let me
In Fort
see.
Pierce?
Yeah, and I've got a bag out there you can get a shot of. But yeah. Now, here's another little thing that I was doing a couple years ago,
Boy, it's
and
like
I
so
wish I
much
had more
waste.
land
Like,
out
you
here.
couldn't
because
waste
I would be
all
doing,
this.
Yeah.
He said
Well,
they'll regrow, right?
Yeah, I was just getting to that.
What?
Okay, so all of this, not regrow so much, but look at all
There's
these
so
little
much in
ones
there.
that I never caught.
Right.
Yes.
And plus, there's little seeds in there that haven't even germinated yet.
So another
what
2
I was
days?
doing, oh no, it's not worth that. But what I was doing a couple years ago, before I had more of my beds established out front, what I was doing was I would take and I would just cut these things into quarters, and I would take them out there, and I did that with sunflower sprouts too. And I would take those
Explain 'em.
little mats out there, and I just throw them in the dirt,
Let them spread out.
I had daikon radish plants that were this tall out there. A couple of radishes that were the size of footballs. I'm not kidding, and it was all from these mats here. I got tons of broccoli out of it.
Yeah.
I got tons of kale, and where Gina does her microgreens, they have, now imagine, they've got a 4,000 square foot warehouse they're doing this stuff in.
Wow.
They're not using all of that at the moment, but you know, even just imagine, you know, they've got 500 square feet of that planted. So once a week, and they usually use the commercial use they're twice this wide. They call them 1020s. The commercials use those, and that's 2 quarts of soil, and they're just taking them out and throwing them out in a pile there. That thing was like this Frankenstein garden of everything. You wouldn't, and it was good stuff. I mean, you could harvest it and eat it. It was kale, broccoli,
There's an idea then.
everything that she's growing out there. So she's actually been being a little more mindful about that as she put stuff out there. When she first came there, they were just throwing it out there. It was just like this hill of all these different,
Yeah.
vegetables and
Yeah.
stuff. So anyway, yeah, and last year I was still doing that with the sunflowers out there, and I had a big, actually out there where my Tithonia is now. I had a big growth of sunflowers out there, and it was on Halloween, as a matter of fact. The neighbors across the street, I guess some little girl in the family or something was over dressed as a bumblebee, and they're like, "Do you mind if we take a picture in front of this?" I'm like, "Absolutely not." I was honored by it. It's so cool. But yeah, a lot of byproducts. So if you had a lot of land, you could, I mean, you just throw the stuff into a place that gets watered and forget about it, and you've got, in a couple months you've got
I like the idea.
radishes, and you've got whatever you're growing, ideally.
Man, I want to
kale
take
stuff
those home
like
and put
that.
them in my garden today.
Oh, you
Just let them
can.
go.
You can. They're a mess. I mean, well, actually, what we did the first time was I put them over there, and when I started getting little sprouts, because I'll show you my growing technique out there.
You just harvest them and
What I
transplant
do is, it fits right in with what I normally do to start things. I take an area and I get, it started, I did that 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago outside there, a week before Matt. And what I do is I square it off, and I take this jar right here, which we'll be using in a little while, and I measure out like half a teaspoon of onion seeds or a teaspoon of broccoli seeds or just different seeds, and I go to little square foot areas, and I just like exactly like what we're going to do to seed these things.
But you seed it outside.
And I seed it
in the
outside in my beds, and we can go outside. I've already got
I know,
some
I've seen
things
those.
started.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, I've got onions started. I've got a little lettuce started out there already.
Yeah.
I've got red Russian kales going out there. I got tons of radishes going out there, and it turns out I think those are from my cover crop. They're kind of accidentals. But yeah, so what I do then is spread them. I go in, you know, once they get a little size on them, I just go in and I take a handful of all these little starters and I just go around to different areas and then plant them. I never put them into rows. I just plant one here, one there, and then I plant another something here and there, and everything is all diverse.
Like
and
forest out in the forest.
yeah, last year I had no bug problems. I had tons of kale.
Yeah, I'm
At
kinda doing
least,
things like that.
at least 26 people walked out of here with big bags of kale and collards last year.
Oh.
Carrots, lettuce when I had it, onions, and at least half a dozen people did so regularly. And just friends that would come over, and I had people that would come over and just I'd find them out front
Munching on your young
or
and tender
something.
lettuce.
Crazy.
And no, they'd be just out weeding. And yeah, we came by to weed, and and it's like, yeah, well, make sure you go leave with something. And they were walking out with bags of food, which is amazing. And still more turned to compost than got eaten. So this year I'm going to try to find hopefully a soup kitchen or something, somebody that can kind of
Yeah.
use it, because I had kale like crazy last year. No bugs, nothing. It was the most beautiful
And you're buying
stuff.
bulk seed, like by pounds of seeds?
Yeah,
Buying
you
them
can-
by 10 pounds?
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah,
Okay, good, all right.
there's a balance there with that, because
Right.
I have an experience. These lentils in here, I still use them, but they're not viable anymore. I'm only getting maybe about 20% of them to sprout, and they're like 3 years old. So there's a balance
Right.
between
Usability.
because seeds kind of die off. So I tend to buy what what I can use, but I've been working on seed saving too, and broccoli is real easy. I've got a lot of lettuce seeds, but I wish I had more land to experiment and more time to experiment, because I sometimes hate planting my own saved seeds, and I know I need to plant them to get the feedback on them, but the problem is I have so little time when I plant something, and I want to do the investment of growing something. I want
Right,
to
you
make
wanna
sure
make
that
sure
I'm going to
on
be
the same
growing something. But this is
pragmatic.
again, same thing. I haven't experimented with these yet, but these are all my own broccoli seeds that I saved from last year.
That's a lot of seed, bro.
That's a ton.
That's
yeah.
a ton of seed.
So
I got a lot of that.
You should keep it in the refrigerator.
I should.
I don't know.
but,
Yeah.
The moisture in there.
No, you need to keep it as cold as possible.
Yeah,
It's sealed.
it is ideal to keep it cooler. But yeah.
All right, so are you making our
I have
salad?
so many seeds in my back room. I mean, I have bushels of them. It's like I just don't have room to keep seeds in the fridge. So anyway, so let's finish. Yeah, let's finish the harvest here. Let me get these other 2 trays going. Get to them before the frogs.
All right, what's
get
this
to
one?
'em. This one is broccoli again. This one's a whole tray of broccoli. There's no divots and no freakiness in that. Aren't they? They just have amazing flavor. Those should be pretty sharp.
Yeah, no, they're perfect.
Excellent.
Let me see what you put in there. Let me see what you're doing.
I'm just gonna stick them out here.
Oh, okay.
Then I take them out and put them in the composter. Gina says she doesn't, but the people who ran the sprout place before she took it over used to use a turkey cutter to cut them, and I've been wanting to try
You mean
that.
like an electric one?
Like an electric knife,
Oh,
like a zzz.
yeah.
So
You just got to grab hold of them, though.
and I have idea for an invention to take like of course, a brand new dustpan or something, and then somehow rig the turkey or the the electric knife
Right.
to where, and then it just kind of scoops them.
Or
all
like
out.
a rake front, so that it
rake,
rakes
yeah.
and that's what you
Like
get
what
the
you
nice-
cut your hair with.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go.
Well, we've done things like Gina and I, when we used to have more time to experiment and play, we used to do things like I was trying to grow them inside a grid. I had like a plastic grid, and I thought, well, if we can get them on a grid, and then I can just take a big knife and just
Yeah.
cut them, and they didn't grow very well. So, it's
Live
not
out,
that
man.
hard to,
Right.
what I'm doing right now is not that hard
No.
to do. So
None of
it's,
it. I mean, it's just the timing, and
it's
getting
the
it right. So
timing
you have to be
and getting
disciplined.
the timing down is paramount.
And just getting the sprouts.
And my thing is I don't have a lot of time. I work in Jupiter, and to drive all the way down there and try to work
What do
9 or
you- what do
10
you do?
hours. I work at an engineering company.
Okay.
I count beans for them, and so it's a
Yeah.
2-hour commute on top of a 10-hour day. I get home.
Oh, forget it.
I do my chores. I try to spend a little time in the garden, but I'm usually pretty well shot. I don't have a lot of time. I don't want to screw around with a lot of
Who does?
this kind of stuff. So this is a 10-15 minute job at night, and I can feed myself for 5 days on it. I mean, it's just that.
Yeah, I
and
love it.
during the week, it
I'm
takes.
eating those stems. I wouldn't let anything go to waste.
Well, when we go to start seeding this, you will see that it takes like 3 minutes to seed it. It's even easier than this. I don't even like dealing with this.
Because
as
those
much.
you gotta
Oh,
rinse
I've got
out
one more
a
out
few
there.
You
times
gotta
and
soak them and
soak and rinse and all that nonsense. That's what I get
There's still
What are these?
these are kale again.
They just taste one.
Oh, please do.
Yeah, me too. And you know what it is? It's just, 1 or 2 little things, and you forget 10 minutes or a day. Well,
And talk
just
about
whatever.
the nutrient value of
you
these
just have to rinse
versus
them
a
once
full
day.
plant.
Once they're
Well,
sprouted, you just have to rinse them once a day.
Ever
Right, but
since
you gotta-
And hang them upside down.
You gotta get them to sprout, yeah.
the thing about the young plants, for me, I like the taste of them even more because they're it's a much richer taste. But just imagine every seed that created this stuff has the intelligence of a giant plant, and that is all locked up inside that seed. And this is the most fertile point of a plant's life. So by eating this young food, we are creating,
We're getting the most.
we're getting the most,
The most effective.
yeah. And
It's like
and
40 times the
At least.
nutrition of a parent plant.
At least, and look at that. I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
I know, I'm mad that you're wasting the rest of it under the stem over there, so leave it in the box,
Nothing ever goes to waste around here. But the balance is, the trade-off is getting soil in your food. So I don't really want
Versus
to.
sprouts.
No,
you mean.
Yeah.
I'm just
Or
joking,
versus
but I'm
cutting
saying-
lower.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm just joking. I mean, this is
So yeah, and I don't know where they got off to, but Handy Pantry sells these little mats. They some kind of synthetic or cotton or I don't know what they are, but they're grow mats. And and I actually found them the other day, and I stuck them aside just for this class to show them to you, and I have no idea where I stuck them. So.
Oh, you bought some?
Yeah, I had bought some a few months ago as an experiment.
How did they do?
Awful, awful. And I think that, for me, proves that they are getting some nutrition out of soil, because a lot of people are saying, well, it doesn't matter about your soil and all of that sort of stuff. Well, I think at this stage it doesn't matter about your soil. But I think by this stage,
You know, it
they're
does
pulling
matter. It
something
matters a
out of the
lot at
soil.
that stage.
There was no comparison, because
Yeah.
I grew two side by side, and I know I've got pictures somewhere. I was like, I'm not using these stupid things again. The nice thing about them was no soil, so you didn't have to worry too much about getting soil in your salad. But the bad news was they were a little scrawny and didn't grow quite as well. I think. And as you can see, I mean, I'm sitting here talking and all, and it's taken what, about 2 minutes to clear this tray. And
So this pile now is 4 trays worth?
This is 3.5 because we,
3.5,
we really
okay.
wasted half of the tray.
And that's a whole week.
Freddy the Frog.
And how much money was that? 3 trays worth?
Okay, when we get to that, you'll see I used 3 scoops of this for each tray,
Which
3
is a
scoops.
teaspoon?
Which is a teaspoon, which would probably be, well, I've never broken it down, but I'd be surprised if it was more than a quarter or 50 cents worth of seeds. So $1.50 worth of seeds at the most to get all of that food. And here's what Gina sells. She
Drops it up in the bag.
Nope, she puts them in these. So,
Oh,
and that,
wow, that's
I think that's
beautiful.
like $7 or $8.
Oh my
She
God!
sells that for $7 or $8.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
What is this?
Joe? What are we doing, Joe?
That is
Huh?
actually
Open
that is
this up.
actually exactly.
I don't
what
wanna
we
open
just
it.
grew.
For the video.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
What are those?
That's exactly what we just grew.
What are
That,
those?
harvested. They're broccoli and kale.
Oh.
She does it by weight.
And yours look a lot darker.
Yeah, weight, volume, and
They lost some
stuff like that.
light.
That's what I mean, the sprouting man.
And let's
Yeah.
open this up
So
for
this
the
is
video.
this is the sunflower sprouts, and
Oh,
these are really great.
I love those.
I stopped doing it because
May I?
they're kind. Well, I stopped doing them because Gina started doing them again, and they're easier to buy than they are to
me try this one right
harvest. Because one of the things,
Very good.
as far as growing them, they're so easy.
He has a
Yeah.
red
What
one,
really
too.
sucks is the harvesting of them because they get the little husks stuck on
Ah,
here, and you got to constantly pull them off.
And she does that each one?
Well, not every. It's like 1 out of 10, but when you're dealing with 1,000, 1 out of 10.
And what
is
does she
still-
sell that for?
I think that's like $8 too,
Oh.
something like that. And that,
Skiba was selling his sunflowers for like $14 a pound.
Sprouted.
Yeah. Yeah, he used
Oh,
to he
he's
had
doing that?
trays.
He's growing?
Not anymore. I mean, I got
Oh.
a lot of his stuff, you know. Not a lot of it, but some of it. Now it's,
would you be so kind as to take that?
Sure, if I can
Right,
snack
well,
on them on the way
He's
out,
gonna eat
sure.
it on the way
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
So I just kind of give them another rinse. We're actually watering them here because what I found, and I found this with really with sunflower sprouts. One day, I had mentioned I never
Love them.
I never water if I'm going to harvest because I think it makes everything thirsty, and then when you cut it, it wants to suck some water in. So I was going to harvest some sunflower sprouts, but I was busy harvesting some other stuff, and I got a late start, and you gotta, when it gets warm, you don't really want to be harvesting and all that sort of stuff. So I was kind of in a bind, and I looked over and I looked at my sunflower sprouts, and they had all wilted because they hadn't been watered that morning. Oh, crap! I gotta at least get them cut and get them in some water so they'll perk up. So I have a utility sink outside. So
Ah,
I
there's the
had it
sink.
all cleaned up, and I had and I filled it up with water, and I cut this giant tray of sunflower sprouts, and I put them in there, and I went about harvesting the rest of my lettuce. Came back about an hour and a half later. I went ahead and dried out the sunflower sprouts. They were waterlogged. I couldn't. They had no taste. They had completely
Absorbed
they had
water and
absorbed way too much water. And I'm wondering if they would actually, if that capillary action would actually pull up flavors. If you could put like.
Well, that's what they do, the
Cayenne
science
pepper or
experiments with
something.
celery all the time, and it turns the celery blue or red.
Exactly,
Right.
it's that same action, but you're getting, and why I say that is we're getting that here, and it's important to that everybody gets watered. The other thing that's really important here as far as the drying,
So the difference with the water logging though was because they were soaking.
I had left them in the water.
This
for
is
so
just the
long,
right amount
but-
to rinse them.
Yeah. All I've done here is that's an extreme story of what has happened with these guys. These have just gotten their watering, and now they're ready to be thoroughly dried. I want the water on the inside and not the outside. And I think we got enough for this nice big.
Have you, Susan, done any experimentation with the oil, the essential oils like cardamom or something with water and seeing if the flavor, how the flavor gets?
No, have you?
Look at you with the little push button there.
I love this thing.
Man, you're spoiled.
Lemon.
So-
I think he's done it with lemon. Didn't you put some lemon oil in
I
water?
tried that one time and I didn't have any, you know, I haven't done any real strong experiments. Look how much water I pulled out of that little bit of sprouts. Now, it is so important to get all the water out. The other thing that's important to do is make sure they're not clumped together, because they will try to clump together. So I kind of work them a little bit. And you saw me dump out that water, right?
He got the spinner at Bed Bath and Beyond.
Not much more water, so it's really critical to get that out of there. And then again, you don't want them going in. You want to make sure they're
Fluffed.
well fluffed up. You
Need a
have to
hand
see
dryer.
anything grouping together. So you just go ahead and dump them on in
Yeah,
here.
look at all those greens.
Wow, that's going to be a beautiful presentation.
Who's saying today?
He is at a United Nations debate in
Oh, he's debating.
Florida College about the Syrian refugees they're debating.
Is that right?
He's representing the Arab nations.
Hope somebody videos that, Mom.
I know.
That should be pretty
that's what
cool.
she said.
Do they record that?
I don't know. I'll ask. Maybe.
How come you mother's got the blue eyes? What happened to you?
Well, you know, I just learned recently that the eye color I have is a mix of a brown-eyed parent and a blue-eyed parent. It's biliary.
Oh, is that right? Good, Mom. Movie stuff. No, this is actually very good. Just picking up all these little things going on there, you know, Mark.
Well, and all this stuff took a couple years to figure out. You know, and that's another bad thing about growing things outside is oak leaves and things. But
Adds a little different texture.
yeah, it does, and you know it too. I'll be at work and I'll be chewing. Yep, yeah, I got something there.
So you bring this to work.
Oh yeah,
This is your work lunch.
this is my work lunch.
And everyone's like, look at that Mark Sprouts-Alot. Who does he think he is?
Look how healthy.
Didn't you sell some seeds at work?
I did, yeah, I was doing that for a little while, and yeah, just a lot of work, not any. This stays. Yeah, a lot of work. Little
So,
return.
When we're deciding on seeds to buy, are you saying we should only figure how much we're going to use in a year or 2 years?
Depends on the seeds, and if you do have refrigeration, you obviously are going to get a longer lifespan out of it.
You want to keep your seeds
My
refrigerated.
lentils that were in a 5-gallon bucket lasted about 3 years before they started like.
And how much have you used up?
Most of them. But that was back from when I was selling a lot of them.
Oh, okay.
That was just leftover inventory. The mung beans are still sprouting just fine, and they're the same. I bought them around the same time frame. So it really depends on the seeds. I would say though, these would be your longer
Germination.
longevity seeds.
Lentils?
As far as being able to say the bigger seeds, the bean seeds,
don't dry
lentils
out.
more of a bean, I think. Than,
Those are lentils, right?
yeah, they're lentils, they're round ones, and then there's mung beans in there as well. And then this is fenugreek, and I think that's a pretty hardy seed that'll last a while. These guys these are broccoli, radish, and alfalfa. It's a 3-bean mix. I'm not sure which one, but I think one goes faster than the others, and I think it's the alfalfa. But these little seeds are the ones that don't have the longevity, I think. And that could actually be the problem with my my radish seeds.
So what kind of seeds do you get then? You got
I buy
kale.
kale, well, mainly broccoli and radish.
Those are the most expensive.
And I have, broccoli are very expensive. I buy some kale, and they were more for the microgreens than these guys, but I use them in the garden outside as well. I buy the fenugreek for the sprouting, and the three-part for the sprouting, and then the fenugreek or the lentils and mung beans for sprouting as well.
And you mix them together. They're not a mix, right?
No, I mix them together, and when I sell them, I mix them all together. But I've sprouted them like this, so we'd have plenty of them and then you guys could see each one too. So there we go. We'll give that one more quick spin.
So basically you need 3 trays for one meal for yourself, right?
For one meal?
Right, this is one meal for you. One salad for you is 3 trays.
No, that's a whole week. 2 trays. 2 trays last me a week because I've got this.
Mix them
I've got
with
that.
other
Right.
Yeah.
And then he goes out and nibbles on
In the
the
garden.
acorn.
But wouldn't you eat that all at once?
Oh, you would.
You
But he's
might.
not. He's
You
not a
would.
hog like you. Come on.
You would, but no. This is just a topper. I find that eating too many of these, they're
Actually,
really,
they're 40 times the nutrients, so maybe you don't need as much.
yeah, well, they feel lighter or something. They're not as satisfying as far as they don't fill you up. So you need other stuff. These are more, I think of them more as a topper or a garnish kind of thing. Although I put a lot of them on there. I mean, I put a good, that's a normal like topping for my salad maybe. So imagine that. Yeah, it's about a fifth of.
Okay, I see.
So I just try to make sure it lasts me the whole week. Whatever my harvest is, I try to stretch it to where I have a little bit every day. Sometimes I can have as much as I want. Sometimes it's I got a little bit of everything. And there's for the compost. Just that homework fell down in there. Stay down there. This thing was a huge investment, or a great investment, and the more expensive one has the stainless steel cover, or the stainless steel, and it's like, why would you want stainless? You can't see what's going on inside. So I'm glad I got
brand
this
is
one.
that?
It's the,
OXO,
is that how they
OXO?
pronounce it? OXO?
OXO. At Bed Bath & Beyond.
Yep, that's
Well,
the
they have
thing.
several brands there.
And that's where I got it, probably 20%. And voila.
The only safe place to me is even sick oil. And that's what was your
There we go. Just leave that in there for later. Is that gorgeous or what?
Mark's cooking show.
Yeah. Yep, that's,
Put it on YouTube.
yeah, probably if it were a quarter a scoop, maybe,
$6.
yeah, $6 maybe. Not bad.
Not bad, baby.
That's a lot of food.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
then
it's
next,
beautiful, you know?
I show you how to harvest these, and then we'll do the other side of it after we eat. We'll go ahead and eat,
Yeah.
and then we'll do the other side. I'll show you something very important is I always clean those trays. That's the other thing. I just want to make sure there's no
With vinegar?
bacteria.
Yeah.
No, I just kind of wash them down. I'll take a rag out with a little soap in them, and I just take them over to the utility. I just make sure I get any kind of funk or anything off of them. But then I do that, lay my soil in, and
You know, Peaceful Valley recommends baking your soil in the oven.
But you kill
and
the
you're killing all
I know,
microorganisms.
I know, it's crazy.
can't-
That's
I
their
just-
little YouTube video, you know, they have all those how-tos.
Yeah.
I know.
Don't listen to them.
Baking the soil
They
in
don't
the
know what
oven.
they're
I've
Well,
heard-
yeah, they
I've
talk.
heard of
To
baking
sterilize
flower
it.
pots.
You talk about sterile soil.
Empty flower pots I heard were good to
You
really,
mentioned how the depth
Bake.
of the soil
Know how
that
to
was in
do-
those little trays, was it like?
Empty flower pots
yeah, the clay pots
to sterilize them?
to sterilize
Does-
them.
Does it bury the seed or does it just
No,
sit
you
on
just,
top?
don't you just sprinkle it, you sprinkle
What
it,
else do you need?
seed over the top and then a little more dirt on top and then you put another layer on top with rocks, the way I do it.
For what?
When I'm sprouting those trays,
Okay.
dirt, seed, little water, then a little more dirt on top, and I put another tray with a little rock, with rocks on it,
Oh, okay.
and I water it, and when it grows, it's gonna lift up that tray with the rocks in it, lift it off, let them finish off.
What are you
Actually,
sprouting?
Yeah, what are you sprouting? I like the rocks idea though.
The sunflower,
Okay, okay.
the sunflower, I don't know about broccoli and all that other stuff, everything's rotted before I can get it.
Okay.
So I haven't had success, I haven't done it enough yet.
I'll show you what I was doing for
Sure.
sunflower sprouts. I actually had a stone that was exactly the size of my tray, and I put it in another tray, and I was able
Oh.
to set it down on there. But I like the idea of the rocks
Yeah,
because
a little bigger rock.
I actually use a tray that I poured concrete into for that effect, which didn't
Yeah,
work
this
so
way you
well.
can take them in and out, you know, the way.
But I never covered my
The
seeds.
broccoli?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't cover them, you
I
just,
don't cover. Yeah, and I don't even cover sunflower seeds. I
you
just
just, and
lay
then
them
put the other
on
tray
there
on
and put
top?
the tray on top, and it's fine. Yeah.
Okay,
No need to cover them.
you see?
And on these things, I did start covering them. Okay, I did a few little experiments. One of them was I used to just grow them, and I put them down. You know, I seed them and I just let them go, and I cover them with like just a sheet or something just to block the sun out, and I'd let them grow, and I did okay with that. And then somebody told me to put a weight on them. And so I started doing that, and that made a huge difference. The thing that really made the difference was actually covering them with soil. So, and a really thin layer of soil, just enough, and then, and I did them side by side, and the one that I covered with soil was markedly better than the one without soil. But they were filthy. When I would go to clean them, they would all have little clumps of soil that they brought up with them. It was terrible.
Yes,
you were
or wet
constantly
paper
getting
towels is what that
and
book
stuff.
says. You could use wet paper towels instead of soil.
Oh, that
on
would
top,
be a good
on
idea
top.
too, wouldn't that?
And
Would that'd hold all
maybe
that soil
through.
back?
And it might
You
go
go,
through.
girl.
I'm gonna try that.
Me too.
Yeah. I'll try
Or you could even use a cloth if you want to wash it and not reuse paper towels. You could use a wet
Yeah.
cloth.
Well, I'm thinking of the paper towels.
But yeah, wet
just
paper
towels.
push right through it, and you just don't do anything because the cloth you'd have to remove eventually.
You'd have to
Right.
wash it.
Yeah,
And
remove it.
no, I like that idea of the paper towel.
But I'll show you how to harvest these. You love it. Watch this. I always do this one first. And again, I haven't
Touched it yet?
Yep, I haven't watered them today. I sometimes will eat these. Some people will float the husks out. I don't. I just go ahead and put them in because they're, in my opinion, they're.
Steve, are you gonna float
they're,
the husks out?
they're,
It's hard to get them out.
No,
well, it's hard to get them out.
You're
number one,
wasting all of that.
And they're, yeah, it's full of the
It's
husks.
got a lot of husks.
But it all has husks in it.
Yeah, but
and
the most,
And I wouldn't.
And this is the fenugreek.
no, this is the three part.
Oh, okay,
This is
right.
broccoli,
Oh,
radish,
that's
and
beautiful.
alfalfa. And I just, again, the key thing, and during the whole process, is
keep 'em
keeping them fluffy. Yeah, keeping them. and making sure they're able to drain. When they stick together, that's when they start rotting.
Okay.
So you want to make sure they're
Like the ones they
nice
sell you
and-
in the store.
Yeah.
Well, that's because they're, you know, in with the, what do you call it, the humidity thing inside, people opening up, closing and all that, you
And
know?
they put the cover on it.
Yeah.
Those things are actually grown in those little containers.
Oh, that's why they're so
really? That's an
jam-packed.
idea.
Yeah.
I see what you're dumping everything into that unit?
Yeah, I just make layers with it. The fenugreek is one of my favorites because I have a huge problem. For years, I've had a huge problem with nasal congestion and things like that. And I go through spells of getting hooked on the long-lasting nose drops and all that sort of stuff. Well, I read where this keeps fenugreek keeps mucus from getting hard, keeps it flowing. And ever since I started eating these regular, I never have any problems.
Boy, that's
I've
gotta be
never had
good
to.
for everything too.
I
and
can
in here,
sleep.
too.
Yeah, and I got a lot of mucus, but it's not getting stuck like it used to. So that to me, and then if I'm ever sick and I'm ever over, and it does start doing it, you can actually drink the tea from soaking these things, and it's like really
I got that
gelatinous.
one.
It's real thick and funky. And then here are the lentils and mung beans, and that is the harvest of that. That's all there is to it. There's no washing because they're clean.
They're all clean already.
Yep, and voila.
So you can take handfuls of that instead of peanuts.
Yep. My sister got into it a couple years ago, which really surprised me. And she
Wow.
would carry them
Good
with
picture.
her and put them on all of her eggs, and she'd go out to eat and have them and stuff. And I got that.
The fenugreek stuff, or the fenugreek one, or?
All of them. I called this Mark's mix.
I put them on sandwiches.
That would be
And
great.
avocado.
All right,
And
well,
onion
let's-
and tomato.
Let's eat.
Let's eat.
Can I get one more try
Oh.
about
Sure,
that? Because
absolutely.
I took the picture, backed off, and got a picture of your feet.
Oh,
Got a picture of your feet.
I waited long enough that time.
Nice, that's a great shot. So, let's see. These probably aren't big enough.
well,
Sure they are.
We can do. We'll have to just get a little bit and do, because I'm encouraging you to eat as much as you want, but
good thing there's only 6 of us here.
Yeah, right.
Really.
Well, we'll just go with that. That's what you got,
yeah,
You can
that'll
get more.
work. And then I do
We'll just
have
come back and refill.
See now,
silverware.
Mark,
That's
all of these
fine.
things and these seeds and everything, I would gather them all up and I'd be putting them someplace out there.
Well, yeah, and I
Yeah,
2
no,
or
no,
3
it's all
years
good,
ago
it's all
was,
good.
was doing
Yeah,
that, and
yeah.
there's a balance between
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah.
timing.
And those
time.
too.
Yeah, I just don't have enough
Wait, you forgot those.
time. Oh, no, they're on there. They're out there.
Oh, she gave
Those
you.
are my backups
Oh, okay.
in case we eat all of those.
All right.
I'll want those for work next
All right,
week.
so yeah, I guess open all the lids and however you want us to
Yeah,
line
it's
up.
kind of informal. Let's see.
I'll just go last so I can videotape everyone.
Who gets to videotape you?
That's right.
And there we
You
go.
can be first. So.
I personally like these on top, but you can do anything you
Well, you
want.
show us your way.
All right.
Get a magic formula.
This is what I would do. Just get one of these out, and I guess I should not use my hand. I would do my own personal stuff.
Is Bragg's like the only company that has integrity with people that are really into this? I mean, it just seems like you always see that.
Yeah, I've lost a lot of. I used to like Newman's Own, but I've lost a lot of faith in them. So, oh, and there's tea and water and everything here, and I've never been filming
Okay,
my
here we
salad
go.
bowl. And make sure you get a little bit of everything, and then you can come back with that.
I'm not sure what you do, Mark.
That.
Flat beer.
And then a little bit of that, and then these are the coup de grace.
Coup de grace. What is this in here, babe?
That's nutritional yeast.
Yeast?
I'm doing it
Yeast.
here now.
It adds a cheesy flavor, gives it some more thickness, body.
I think we're using these ones.
And it's loaded with all kinds of B vitamins and everything.
And it's full of protein too, believe it or not. And it's made out of sugar.
Do any of you
Might as well
guys
leave it
know?
open, leave it open.
Oh yeah.
Does anybody know anybody here that works for the beekeepers? You know,
I do.
that keep all, you know, that do all the, you know.
Well,
yeah?
there's a guy in Vero. Yeah, you want to talk to him?
No. I just know a kid that was going to rent my place. He's a beekeeper. You know, he works for this guy who owns all of these bees all over the country.
All right, you're saying that.
So he travels around and he's got all this bee pollen, you know, and all this other stuff.
And we're going outside, right?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
So,
And don't forget a sport.
all right, so we can turn this off now. We're good.
Oh, no.
Take a picture of this with your smartphone. This is one of my new buds. This is probably the guy you're talking about.
Is that inert? What is that?
It's a bee house that he made that looks like a bees, the way the bees would make a bee house. It has
That's
the
an actual
honey.
living thing.
Yeah.
All
Have
right.
you seen this
can
place?
Turn this off on.
Yes, you've been there.
Is that in
It's a meditation.
is that in Kentucky?
No, it's here in Vero.
Oh no, I
My
haven't.
friend Michelle goes here and
Nutritional
meditates.
yeast.
Yes, it is.
He raises bees right there, and he came into Habitat the other day, and I finally.
Where in Vero?
I'll look at the card when I get my glasses. You got glasses on. Tell her we're in Vero.
Oh, do you want? These glasses aren't strong enough. I realize now.
It's
I
a
need to
bee
move up a
meditation
level.
place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got all kinds of
Doesn't say.
acoustics hooked up
Here, he
for
did
it.
this
And
probably. but-
Co-founder. It doesn't say where.
My friend Michelle goes over there and chants and meditates and does Reiki and.
Michelle, that's the gal that opened up the thing.
I know. I did.
It comes out the top, I guess.
Blonde-haired lady is Michelle.
It's very lightly
Opened up a
though.
healing
Yeah,
place on US 1,
Yeah.
and then it failed.
So yeah, how is
That
it?
must have been just good, you know, within the last few months.
Oh, no.
Oh, then I'm thinking of somebody else.
Yeah, it's another Michelle. But,
Mind you, good.
it was
Okay, I'm
it
gonna
was on
pause
the Indian
for
burial
us
ground
eating.
or sacred Indian space right there on US 1, and they were both psychics, and I guess they had a falling out right after they opened up this place.
Who's the one?
That's good to know, 'cause I've got some old lentil seeds. I think I got them from you like 5 years ago.
oh, okay.
But let's see, who would
They're
have
probably
been?
the same ones then.
Maybe this is another name you'll know. Oh my God, what was her name? She was an artist, and now she's in Arizona or Colorado with her son. Oh man,
Bobby?
Bozzy, that's her.
In Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Oh, okay. So she moved
Now, it's
to-
funny you should mention her because when you guys were talking about that day,
So what do you, and then what are you doing with this stuff? You just, and then you just reuse it as soil, yeah?
Yep. well, yeah.
Boy, there's a
Sandy
nice
harvests
compost
it.
bin,
My
too,
friend
isn't it?
Sandy takes
Yeah,
care
he
of
said,
this.
look, there's tomato plants.
I
growing.
know, I know.
Yeah, well, tomato, that's probably a...
And what do you got here, grape?
Those are mulberries. That's what Sandy started these last year. If you want a mulberry bush, you're welcome to take it. I think.
If you don't have mulberries, you need mulberries. All right, let's go. I got 10 minutes.
I have a place to
So
put
then
it,
I
you know?
go this way.
I'm running out of space, Sue.
Wash this thing
Yeah,
out.
mulberries are awesome.
You'll sell one of these to us, or?
Yeah. If you got space for it, it'll be a big tree.
Oh, cool. What's your step there? I didn't do very good.
There's my weight. Water.
This is a shower.
A shower, no less, coming out.
Yeah, Friday was the first day since April that I have not taken a shower. It was just too cold out here, but I usually get out here.
All right, so you're just wiping everything down with water, plain water.
Yeah, sometimes I'll put a little soap in, but I think these are pretty good, so I'm not gonna worry. Nothing too funky down on them.
Just like hospital on the floor. In the corner.
It's great, yeah, to take a outdoor shower.
Yep.
Oh, wow, I've never
Yeah, and showering outdoors. Oh yeah, that does puts these little curls all over it. I've got one out here blooming. I'll show you.
Well, oh, we're supposed to follow you?
Yep, you're following. This is
Oh, this is cement. Did you feel that? He
No.
makes a cement thing to
Oh, well, that
uses
would be
the
easy
weight.
to make that.
So, anyway, this is the soil. Shoot, I'm sure he shows you that. This is the soil I'm using. It's like $40 at that place, and I paid $70 to have it shipped here. But it's
That's
called
the Pro Mix?
Yeah, it's called Pro Mix.
I got this stuff, you know, the Peter using,
Yeah.
dropped off.
And it's got the I get the stuff with the mycorrhizing in it.
And how much is the bag of that?
The bag, Gina says she gets it for like $35 at that Diamond R place or
Oh,
whatever
okay.
it's
I
called.
know about that. Yeah, that was Lori was.
Yeah. And I paid like $70 because it costs like 30 something to ship it here.
Okay.
So what I do is shoot. Oh, I do have one. So this is the actual soil here. I always have a little.
That was what was in that bag.
With
Yes.
all that vermiculite stuff.
It's just
in
for
there.
it's perlite and
Perlite, that's what I mean.
vermiculite. I use a quart. This is the first time I've used this. Oh, interesting. I've never seen that before. Let's try the
Vermiculite
weight.
is a worm word. What is vermiculite?
Corn husk ground up.
It's worm.
So quart. And just put that in there.
That's it.
And where do you get those yogurt containers?
From eating yogurt every day. And put a quart in there. So this seems a lot lighter than what I'm used to using. So this is actually an experiment on my part. So I have a little stick here. I'm finally getting all found all my tools.
cut. You cut that
I
stick.
cut this perfectly to do this. I go through and I just kind of get all the clumps out. I want to try to get it as smooth as possible.
Yeah.
And that's, yeah, this is so much better than that other soil.
Did you say you had to sift this at one time?
I had to sift.
my God.
I had to sift.
You should feel this. It's like, ooh.
It's really, really light. And this is what
Like
Gina
soil.
You can
uses.
play.
Baby skin,
You can
baby
play with the
skin.
soil, making your thing there.
So then I just kind of give it a couple of little smooth, I just try to get it, as level as possible. Interesting. This is not as.
And
smooth
these
as
trays
I
are
thought it would.
Yeah, these
8
are
by
Sprouts
8?
trays.
10 by 10.
10 by 10. Okay.
As opposed to this is what
And
the
these
professionals
trays-
use. This is the 1020.
Right. I
They
got
call
some
it.
of those.
That you got from there,
Yeah.
not
and
from a garden.
Yeah, you
place.
can get those
Yep.
anywhere, really.
These are real common. These are hard to get. And I like these
Those
just
are?
because they're
But you had to
easy,
drill your own
small.
holes in them.
No, it all comes. Everything
Actually,
comes the way they
these,
are.
yeah, actually these came with holes,
They've got
but
holes.
when I ordered them, they sent me these, a whole buttload of these. I called them and complained.
With
I said
holes.
they were with holes. And then I said they were supposed to be the 10 by 10, so they said, oh, no problem, just keep them and we'll send you the right ones. And they sent me the next ones, and they didn't have holes in them, but they were the right size. So I was like, okay, I can't complain anymore. So, yep, so it's just,
A Zen garden.
Would
it is.
Would
It's
it have
very
any
Get
more?
your Zen rake.
Would it be any more optimal if it was like shorter here?
maybe,
So
yeah,
that you
so
could do
it
your
could
snipping.
cut it better. Yep, it could be, absolutely. I've often thought of that. And another thing, I'm hoping when I get this sprout house built to be able to really do some experimenting in here. Because what I want to do is practice with less shallow or more shallow
Pins.
trays themselves. The other thing
That's how
is
much
to
you
work
really
with
need.
wicking as far as watering. And Gina and I were talking about that, and she started actually doing that professionally, and her stuff
Like
is
putting
good.
them in a tray of water.
Yep, and she just fills the tray a couple times
Yeah, does
a
that
day,
work?
and yep, she's been doing
Yeah, I
it
like
for
that.
the last couple of
Otherwise, you
What
could
do you
use a
mean?
spray bottle.
What am I?
It's what it's doing
You know,
is
like when you have a flower pot with a little saucer under it,
Yeah.
and the water in the
Just-
saucer goes up
Right.
through the roots.
yeah the
Oh, so let it
soil,
wick, you mean?
the soil will
Up
wick the
instead of
soil.
down.
So
Yeah.
if you put it in a square tray of water,
Right. Well, yeah, well, I have a tree. Yeah,
bigger
there's trays
tray.
that they go into. Yeah.
This is the other thing that I do is I try to like level out the soil. Oh, this is perfect. I lost my brick for doing this, but this actually worked out pretty well. So I get it kind of level.
1, 2, 3. Bada bing, bada bang.
It's actually not
Pretty
so
and
good.
this is what you do: 2 trays every twice a week.
Yep. So then the next step is
Oh, yeah,
One of kale and one of broccoli, right?
Yeah, and I had been doing
then you got the
radish
jars inside.
and broccoli.
Yeah, I can-
Oh yeah, we
This
should
is
get a
easy to
price
do.
on radish seeds.
But I
alone.
wouldn't even put this outside.
We need to get. Well, you need sun. You need a sun.
I got
You
sun.
could, yeah, you could do it in your house.
I got
You're right.
sun.
You could do it in your house through a sunny window.
Yeah, I got plenty. I mean, but
Because if it's outside, you have to
The next
protect
step
it.
is inside.
what, pal?
Oh,
The rest is inside?
what? This is like those cooking shows where you've got comes out of the oven made.
So this is, oh, no, I'm not going to use these. What am I doing?
Oh yeah, let me get the can. Wow.
Oh, okay, so I am out of my kale seeds because I used them out there. So this is the broccoli. We'll start with this one. I'm going to do radish this time. These I ordered, yeah, last fall. So that is exactly,
And it was a full can.
it was a full can. So
And you don't need
of
to
these guys, I use about
Well, you should.
4, 2, 3, 4. That's all there is to it. Put that down.
4 teaspoons
Yeah,
per tray
per tray
of only broccoli.
of only broccoli. So here, just incidentally, are some of my other ones. This is purslane.
Purslane, we get that
Yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah, and this is for designed for microgreens. Again, I just don't have time
Yeah,
to
that's
experiment with all this. But these actually are pretty good. They take about 2 or 3 weeks, and you grow them in the jars. Here's some of the beet micros. They just come out for me super leggy. I haven't had any
right.
luck with them. Let's see what else. Oh, this is that cressida that's so strong. Beautiful micros. Shard, very slow, very much like the beets. In fact, you can't really even tell the difference. This is gorgeous stuff, and I throw it all around the garden too, and I get these beautiful.
Is it good to eat?
Yeah.
That's a microgreen?
That's an amaranth. Yeah, it's true red amaranth.
What about quinoa? Have you tried that?
No, I haven't tried quinoa yet.
All right.
So okay. And then
You're so
moving
funny.
right along. Let's see, what is that? Oh, that's lemon balm for. I haven't tried. I just ordered that. I haven't
What do you
even
do?
opened
What do
it
you do as
yet.
a balm for lemon balm?
A
For
microgreen.
microgreens.
Oh,
So then I use one of these guys, and this is how I start everything in the garden. This is it. And you just try to get it as even as possible.
oh, how cool!
I try to force it into the center as much, if I'm going to do anything heavy, I try to lean for the center because then they tend to grow out.
Oh, just
So you put all 4
4?
teaspoons in the one
Yep.
how many
square.
teaspoons did you put in there?
4.
Altogether. Of broccoli and.
No, just
And then,
broccoli. That's
now with
just
the,
broccoli.
With the radish,
I can't
we'll
wait.
do 5.
Okay, he's gonna do 5 teaspoons of radish.
Because the radish seeds are markedly larger,
Oh yeah.
so you want more. And I'm actually going to go 6 because these things have been coming out. And see, that has used more. 3, 4, 5.
So we didn't have radish today.
No, we didn't. But see, there's more radish used. I bought these at the same time and opened
you
them
couldn't
and
even
started.
harvest
We need a
healthy
price on
seeds
that.
broccoli.
5 pounds of radish. I love radish.
And these are daikons
I
too.
do enjoy them a lot.
Oh,
These are the
daikon.
ones where I was planting the trays outside. And I was getting those 6-foot plants. I mean, the stalks were like that big around, and I would cut them off, and they'd start growing new plants on them. They were amazing. And I've got a bunch of them actually growing out.
Do the radishes taste the same as the shoots? Taste the same as the real radish?
Yeah, everything has its the kale.
Flavor like?
If you ate the
Taste.
broccoli individually, yeah, they have that. They just, you can catch the hint of their flavor in.
Now, what if some of the seeds go into the broccoli?
I don't
Come
care.
on.
It happens all
She's
the time.
busting your chops, brother.
It
You know
happens
that.
all the time because
You
I'm
can't
actually
tell.
gonna stop. I'm gonna stack these.
Yeah.
So I will pull. Yeah.
All right, I'm
they
just
get,
kidding
They
anyway.
get mixed up all the time. It's not a big deal. So I put this away because I don't want
You
any
have a
water
sense
on
of
it.
humor, Susan. I was wondering about that. Oh.
Hey, caramba.
That's your watering?
I'm kind of in a mess here. Jams all this stuff.
I'll have to, let me videotape the price list while we're waiting for this. For those viewers at home who won't be able to really understand this, we did a 1 year and a 2 year.
Yeah, this
supply. Just freeze this. Okay, so this is
Okay,
your.
now the secret with this stuff is these are really delicate.
Right, very, very easy.
You can easily float these seeds. So
Right.
I always, first of all, I always
Turn on the water.
Turn it on,
yeah, I
or on
always
the valve
forget
at the
to turn
top.
the water on. But I always test the water before I actually, I never spray anything because 9 times out of 10 it'll be shifted over and it'll be like, you'll get that on your
Right.
micros, and we sure don't want that. So we want to make sure we got a shower. This is about the extent of the watering.
That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
it.
That's all. You didn't need much at all,
there is.
babe.
Yep. That's all there is.
How
I take
come?
that. So you don't really want to get them too much. Oops, sorry. I will.
The wind and the sun won't dry it out.
Okay, so
'cause I'm
stack
gonna
one on the other.
put one on the other.
So
And then put
tell
the
me-
brick on top of it.
The weight with a third is really
It was
just to
right, yeah.
hold it in place and to allow it to
Oh.
percolate a little bit.
And then, so this is not covered with soil.
What?
It can't be exposed to the light is the main
It
thing.
doesn't easily cover with soil technique
Yes,
because it makes
but because you have a tray on top of a tray, you don't have to worry about the light because you need to cover the light.
So then,
So you just keep that thing in there.
that's it.
frog,
We're done.
Frog
We're
protection
So
101.
Mark,
That's all
when are
there
you
is
gonna
to
wa-
it.
when
How
are you
did
gonna
you
water
make
this
that
again?
cement thing?
just we had some cement left over one day, and it's not the greatest thing in the world because it's really not pushing down evenly. I want to do something differently, but it works for now.
The little pebble.
But what I'll do is in the morning I'll come out here.
Oh yeah, pebbles. Put pebbles in a
Yeah,
tray.
that would work beautifully.
That's right.
That would absolutely, and I just used my last bag of pebbles, but that would work perfectly.
How often do you spritz?
So I'll come out in the morning and I'll go, and I don't want to disturb, I try to disturb them as little as possible, but I'll boom, boom, psh, boom, boom.
So
That's it.
that time it's less of a spray. It's just
Yeah,
once,
it's
once
just-
back and forth.
So that's-
All I'm trying to do is
Wet the
get,
top so it
yeah, I just
germinates.
want to make sure it gets wet.
you don't hydrate the soil.
I don't try to make it a huge, no, I don't try to make it a huge deal. I just want to get a little bit of water on it.
And you're leaving it outside all day long.
Yeah, and so after.
Well, you know how under a rock things are always wet.
Okay, so tomorrow morning I'll come out and do it. Tomorrow evening I'll come out and do it. I'll probably put the weight back on. You'll start seeing the little,
Yeah.
sprouts coming up. Tuesday morning I'll probably come out, see how it is. That's where I'll make the call, depending on how big the sprouts are getting. I don't want to put the weight back on to the damaging of those sprouts. Once they get big enough to where if I put weight back on, it's going to break them. I don't want to put it back on anymore. Sometimes you'll see a little fuzz in there too. It's a type of mold. I don't know the type, or I don't know anything about it. What I do know is as soon as I see that, I never put anything back on it again. And by that night, I'll come out and there'll be no signs of the mold or anything. It just needs to
Oh, you're
have
saying air.
to dry
Okay.
out. Yeah. I'm sure if you kept them in their environment, it would probably ruin the batch. I actually have had like my wheatgrass and stuff. I used to grow that a lot. You get like a little mold or something growing down below the surface is a little touchy too. I don't really care for that too much. Not much you can do about that other than just not.
And then
cut
how
it.
many days is this ready?
Okay, I started what we ate today. I started.
Today's Sunday.
I started Monday evening, Monday afternoon. I started this process Monday afternoon.
Every day, doing that thing
Yeah, so I
twice a
came
day.
out,
Water
yeah,
twice a day.
morning and at night.
And it's 4 or 5 days and you're ready to
Yeah,
cut.
yeah. I could have harvested them yesterday if I needed to.
Okay, but then on
once
Wednesday
these
you're going to
things-
do another batch.
Yeah, and I'll probably start another batch Wednesday evening. At night, once they're uncovered, I just bring this out, I lay it over top of both of them, and that tends to keep the frogs out and whoever else wants to crawl on there. But otherwise, that's about all there is to it.
Pretty
and literally,
simple.
yeah, literally, it's a 10-minute job.
Right, and it's just the
yeah.
timing, know what you're doing, get
Yeah.
it right. And,
Took us a little longer
check
because
for
we
the-
were talking and going,
All
and
right.
we actually cleaned and everything.
All
so
right, thank you, Mark.
my
Mark
pleasure.
Sprouts a lot.
Mark Sprouts. It was good. It was
Yeah,
really good to see
yeah.
it. The taste of it. And then, so I'm gonna hold the little